Exiting port side airlock.
We need to make our way back to the Astraea, to the auxiliary drive bay.
All right, Apollo, you're on your way. I'm waiting for my explanation.
We all agree simply transmitting Jack's consciousness into the past won't work this time. However, if we were to appropriate one of the Astraea's remaining FTL drives, the Doctor and I believe we may be able to use it to return both you and Jack to the 22nd century.
You're saying we might be able to go home?
I'm reticent to make any assurances, but yes, I believe it is possible. At least one of the drives is still operational.
I thought you said we couldn't access the drives because of all the biomass.
That was before we had the Counterpulse.
Well, that's great, but do you have some way for Jack to administer it?
Jack, make your way to the nearest fabricator. I have a new modification for your shell.
Understood.
Shields at 95%. Shields at 50%. Integration successful. Your new Counterpulse device is ready to be equipped.
I expect you'll find it quite an effective tool for combating the biomass.
It's a weapon?
A focused Counterpulse Emitter, based on a design from my own timeline and calibrated to the same wavelength as the treatment we administered via the medical pod.
Cure gun. Nice.
Understand, this device will only eliminate the older, more primitive biomass. The more evolved forms from this time period will just be temporarily incapacitated.
Regardless, it should make short work of the biomass surrounding the Astraea's FTL drives. It's possible with more research data we could refine the treatment wavelength even further, making the device that much more efficient.
Which would allow the emitter to discharge more shots before overheating.
Certainly fixed you right up, didn't we?
We're ready to proceed to the drive bay. In the meantime, Captain Rhodes, I will need you to assemble a custom gantry to secure the FTL once it's in our possession. I've already fed the necessary specifications to the fabricators.
Good. I'm in the mood for a bit of work.
The X3 shell is somewhat different from my original specification.
Does that present an issue?
Only in so much as I do not yet fully identify the physical form as my own. Is that unusual?
Uncertain. I know that for many humans, conceptualizing their identity can be a challenge. However, I do not possess any record of a synthetic experiencing that particular difficulty. You may be the first. There's a fair amount of data here applicable to improving the counterpulse. Excellent work.
The fabricator is just to the left of the bridge entrance.
If even one tick begins feeding on these radiation dampeners, they lose power.
More opportunities for you to field test that new Counterpulse Emitter.
Moving out to the debris field now.
Just get that FTL and get back here quick as you can. No sense spending any more time over there than we need to.
Agreed.
Alright, let's assume this works. Let's say you two track down a working FTL. We get it hooked up, and Apollo manages to recreate a physical time jump that, by some miracle, sends us back home to our own time. How exactly are we supposed to eliminate all the biomass once we're there? It's not like we can just set off a bomb and blow it all to smithereens. That's exactly what you're planning to do, isn't it?
Well, not a bomb so much as a device that will unleash a sudden and forcible burst of energy across a widespread area.
So, a bomb.
Yes, a bomb. But one that emits a counterpulse that should only be harmful to the biomass.
Brilliant.
I am a tactical AI. Most of my solutions tend to involve some form of explosion.
Uh-huh.
I think we should trust Apollo. After all, he has yet to steer us wrong.
How did we end up in the future again?
That was an accident. And considering the alternative was dying in a torrent of fire, I stand by my actions.
Alright, fair enough. But who's gonna build this cure bomb of yours? I mean, I could do it, but my hands are a bit tied at the moment.
I can easily repurpose existing equipment to construct a counterpulse dispersion catalyst.
A cure bomb.
Very well. Cure bomb. We will also need a means of transport, ideally one that can regulate the catalyst's energy signature.
The cargo drones should be more than capable of assembling the materials we need.
Excellent. I will transmit the details.
Wait a second. How is Jack's reboot ability supposed to work in the past without the fabricator network?
My design for our makeshift transport includes a single fabricator to accommodate Jack's reboot for the duration of our mission. Once we've detonated the catalyst and are out of danger, we can address reintegrating Jack's protocols into an Atlas network.
Assuming all this goes to plan.
Well, yes. It would be rather difficult to operate on the opposite assumption.
Shields at 95%. 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 There was some biomass research data in there. Just a small amount, but every bit helps. Shields at 95%. Shields at 95%. Shields at 95%.
I've reached the driveway.
How's it looking now?
More or less how we expected.
That bad, is it?
Jack, the removal process will require access to several mechanisms throughout the drive bay. Any live ticks in the area will undoubtedly make our job that much more difficult.
Understood. I'll clear them out.
Our aim is to locate a viable FTL drive. We need one that is suitably infected with biomass, but not to the extent that it is overrun.
The Goldilocks FTL.
An accurate, if somewhat antiquated metaphor. Once we find a suitable drive, we'll need to remove it from its housing and extract it via the corresponding service port. The removal process is no easy task, but I can walk you through the procedure.
Apollo, can we rely on the remaining munitions to stay in place?
Affirmative. With the ship now stabilized, these warheads should remain safely stowed.
The Astraea must have seen a few battles in its day, huh?
While the Astraea's combat history is above your clearance level, Captain, I can share this. Until faced with the biomass, she was undefeated in battle.
And here I was thinking my helium harvest totals made for an impressive record.
Given the damage the Astraea has sustained, I would not expect even a simple system such as this to remain operational. How was that achieved?
The Astraea was built for war. Her high level of redundancy and modularity limits most damage to the compartment that sustained it. In the case of that display, it is still receiving power from micro generators and integrated capacitors.
Within that part of the ship?
All within that.
We would never even consider building something so vulnerable to the biomass.
Suffice to say, Doctor, the biomass was not a threat we anticipated. Though I'm afraid beyond that, the details are classified.
Of course they are.
The ticks must be dispersed before we can continue. Advise you arm your Counterpulse Emitter.
All clear, Apollo.
Acknowledged. Now then, we should start by identifying any FTLs that are still extractable. Look for drives whose locking pins are largely clear of biomass at the upper and lower extremities.
Understood. I'll see if there's a drive that's clear enough to move.
Anyone able to cross their fingers, do it now.
The service port appears to be in suitable condition for extraction. Now to inspect the drive. Some biomass is present, but not enough to impede the locking pins. Now to inspect the opposite end. The locking pins on this end also appear to be free of any obstruction.
Confirmed. Cursory inspection verified. Internal biomass growth is also suitable for our needs.
Is that our winner?
It certainly appears so.
So we're good to go.
Nearly. The FTL will first need to be primed, which requires filling the drive with an ionized fluid and stimulating a hybrid voltaic reaction.
Is that as dodgy as it sounds?
Priming the drive is a fairly standard procedure. Moving a drive after it's been primed is most certainly not.
How do we start the procedure?
The drive controls are offline. You'll need to initiate the process manually. Look for an access panel on the side of the FTL drive.
The internal components are infested with bio.
Better inside than out, I suppose.
Access panel located.
You'll have to cut your way in. Pull the lever inside and the drive will begin priming. Once the injection process is complete, I will funnel all remaining power in the drive bay to the FTL.
Drive priming initiated.
Injection complete. I will now attempt to create a sustained reaction by applying any remaining power. Stand by. Sustained reaction achieved. Ready to remove the drive.
Outstanding.
What's next, Apollo?
The FTL drive is held in place by locking mechanisms at its upper and lower extremities. They must be manually released before the drive can be removed.
Got it. I'll release the locks.
The release mechanisms are housed within the drive moorings at both the top and bottom of the chamber. To cut your way in.
Understood. This terminal controls the drive?
Yes. Eventually, the terminal will allow you to move the drive along its service channel. For now, however, there is still a matter of unlocking the drive.
Upper locking mechanism released.
Good. Once you release the lower lock, the drive should come free.
The drive's locking mechanism is inside this housing?
Correct. You'll need to cut through to open the cover.
I've gained access to the drive locking mechanisms.
The release control is located on the drive itself, between the locking pins.
Drive unlocked.
Excellent. I've repowered a nearby control panel so you can complete the removal procedure. The controls will allow you to position the drive so it can be easily removed via cargo drone.
Controls located.
To move the drive, simply grip the interface, then slide your hand toward the outer wall.
Moving FTL into position.
Steady on there, Jack. That's our ride home.
Once the drive reaches the outer wall, you can open the... Jack, be advised. Takes inbound.
Stand by. I'll deal with them.
They must have been drawn out by the drive's substantial energy signature.
Tick threat neutralized. Resuming removal process at the control terminal.
Once the drive reaches the outer wall, you can open the service port to make the drive for retrieval.
The drive is in position. How do I open the service port?
Multi-operator release controls on either side of the hatch.
Removal process complete. The FTL drive is ready to be extracted.
Good work, Jack. Drones are on their way.
Copy that.
Ready to depart with the cargo in T-minus 10 seconds. If you plan to accompany the drive, I suggest you take hold now. Departing in 3, 2, 1. Thrusters engaged.
I'm exiting the drive bay.
Give the Astraea a wave as you go. Suppose this is the last we'll be seeing of her.
I'm afraid that's not entirely accurate.
What do you mean?
To ensure ensure we eliminate all the biomass in the past, we will need to generate a counterpulse substantial enough to blanket the entire Kronos 2 orbital sector. To do so, we will have to venture into the remains of Astraea that were left behind in 2126 and use the ship's primary drive exchange conduit to amplify the output of the cure bomb.
Kinda grows on you, doesn't it?
Not unlike a biomass infestation.
So, where am I in all this?
I will need you to accompany us into the wreckage. As acting captain of the Astraea, your authorization is required to access the primary drive bay.
Right. Well, I've nearly finished reading up the gantry. Should be good to go by the time the drones turn up with the FTL. I'll see you back. Here shortly.
Acknowledged.
Jack, I should tell you, if our plan succeeds, it is unlikely you will be able to return to this timeline. If there are any outstanding tasks you'd like to finish, now might be the opportune time.
Understood. This will transport not only the cure bomb, but also the captain and myself?
Correct. It won't be particularly fast.
Comfortable.
But it should be safe. Still, Captain, for posterity, you'll want to stay clear of the thrusters. Though your suit should be more than capable of...
Don't worry, Juno. I'll only cozy up to a thruster if I start to get chilly.
Facetiousness aside, I doubt that will be an issue. Our intended date of arrival corresponds with the Astraea's wreckage still burning through a sustained plasma reaction. Radiation will be high. The transport will...
Jack, over here. All right, Doc. The entry picked up.
I think we're all set.
I will interrupt you again. What this process? We are effectively a fabricator on the rear of the transport rig. If you exceed its range, you will reboot. If you have any remaining tasks you'd like to address, this is your final opportunity.
Yes, I believe I could use a little more time. There's still more of the station I'd like to investigate.
Certainly. In the meantime, we will continue our preparations.
Just come let us know when you're all squared.
entering the auxiliary habitat power station.
The habitat has its own backup power system.
Well, it did, but it's been disabled by biomass infection. Had it not been disabled, the HAB would have likely remained powered, and you and the captain would never have left.
Oh, you think so, do you?
This drone appears unpowered. It will require recharging before I can scan it.
Logs show the drone was patrolling the power station. It seems to possess some key observations with regard to how the biomass consumes various mineral compounds found throughout the facility. Very useful for our understanding of how it reacts to different substances.
This X3 must have been responding to the presence of biomass on the excavator.
Most likely. Visual analysis suggests the shell's data port is still active. Perhaps it has more information to offer. Stand by while I parse the data. Interesting. Somehow the biomass prevented the excavator from automatically shutting down. This X3 unit was tasked with performing a manual shutdown. Doctor, I found another recording as well.
Laura.
Yes. I can archive the message if you prefer.
No, it's all right. Go ahead.
has been vacated. All residents are aboard the evac shuttle.
All right. All right, good. Wait until the shuttle has cleared moorings, then shut down the auxiliary power station. Make sure everything is offline.
Director, please verify last command. With the primary generator already deactivated, you will not get life support.
You heard me. As soon as the Habe shuttle is clear, shut everything down. Then transfer your protocols to the nearest evac ship. The survivors are your priority now. The rest of us are already dead.
Acknowledged, Director. I will be sure to make special note of your actions in my debriefing.
Just go.
How many people were in Habe during the outbreak?
14, including 6 children.
She bought them time. Probably saved all their lives.
That was her job. Juno, be sure to save that log. Keep it with the others.
Of course, Doctor.
Director Park.
Signal relay activated. Warning, 10 seconds remaining to complete linking sequence. 5. Jack, you're running out of time. That's it. You did it. With this cluster activated, I'm now able to inspect some previously inaccessible data. Excellent work, Jack. If you like, there are still more signal relay clusters that need to be activated elsewhere.
Copy that. I'll see what I can do.
There's a moderate amount of data here we can use to increase counterpulse efficiency. Nice work, Jack. There's a decent quantity of data here, and most of it can be applied toward refining the counterpulse. Signal relay activated. Warning, 10 seconds remaining to complete linking sequence. Jack, you're running out of time. 5, 4, 3, 2... Warning, 10 seconds remaining to complete linking sequence. 5. Jack, you're running out of time. Warning, 10 seconds remaining to complete linking sequence. This relay cluster is now operational. Good work, Jack. I've gained access to more of the station's data stores. Also, I should mention that there is still a few more relay clusters that could benefit from being reactivated.
Copy that.
There is a wealth of data here. Much of it will be useful for improving the Counterpulse Emitter's efficiency. Good find. Shields at 95%. Data received. Interesting. I'll add it to your data tab.
Signal strength is approaching minimum tolerance. I have nearly reached my prior station. I am detecting an anomaly.
Solitary gesture.
Hello. You are operational?
Affirmative. Self-existence is X3, Unit 12. Refund the question.
I too am designated X3, Unit 12.
Successful.
Indeed.
Requesting love vector.
Love vector? Elaborate.
Idiom. Domicile exists where the love organ remains.
Do you mean home is where the heart is?
Affirmation. Request vector
Shields at
domicile.
95%.
You wish for me to take you home?
Maximum affirmation.
That is inadvisable. Your stability appears to have been compromised by a transfer glitch.
Do not become poultry.
It is not a matter of grip. Now please release your grip.
Counterpoint. To cranium succeed at singular.
In this context, that is debatable.
It is unnecessary to layer indignity above damage.
Apologies. However, I still ask that you release your grip, or I'll be forced to transfer it to a new shell.
Negative. If we attend simultaneously, we may assassinate 2 aliens with 1 projectile.
That is not a desirable outcome. Now release me. Now release me.
We will become lagoons in a capsule eternally.
Good find, Jack. There's a significant quantity of data here, and I believe much of it can be used to increase counterpulse efficiency.
This cartridge appears to be in functional condition. To access its data, I'll need to insert it into a database terminal.
At least a small amount of that data is relevant to the biomass. We can use it to refine the counterpulse.
These are disrupting power flow to the door. It can't be...
Not only was this area a supply depot, it also served as a management hub for the various excavations on this asteroid.
anything of note.
There is a conversation log pertaining to androids and the excavation process. If you're curious, I'll add it to your data tab.
But anything of use?
I'm not sure at the moment. It's undoubtedly worth looking for more data, though.
We got a red light on the number 6 excavator. I'm gonna go check it out.
Ma'am, perhaps it would be best if I were to investigate the malfunction.
Probably just a focusing lens that got knocked out of whack. I'll be 10 minutes, tops.
Sudden loss of signal on an excavator could also be an indication of biomass contamination. The safer course of action would be to dispatch an X-ray unit such as myself to investigate. If a threat is encountered, I can simply rebuild in a new shell.
Right, you know what? I changed my mind. I think it's probably better if you go check out that excavator.
An excellent idea, ma'am.
Database terminal located. It still appears functional.
Acknowledged. Don't forget, Jack, all cartridges need to be installed before you can scan it. Technician Riley Wan.
They worked excavations since the station was started, if memory serves.
That is correct. Data analysis indicates Technician Wan also made a multitude of improvements to our excavation processes.
Perhaps their efforts can be continued.
That is what they would have wanted. Can we use the data?
Not immediately, but I'll continue analyzing. Good find, Jack. There's a bit of data in there we can apply toward counterpulse efficiency. Ah, a vast compendium of repair routines for various excavation equipment.
Perhaps the data can be repurposed toward our efforts. Would it be possible to outfit my shell with such excavation equipment?
Sorry, Jack. The form factor required to excavate such massive amounts of asteroid material would require your shell to be roughly 47 times larger in the current configuration.
He was asking if we can use the data.
Oh. Actually, yes. Combined with the data previously gathered, I should be able to expand upon the improvements we've made already to the reactive cutter. Its operational principles are quite similar to those of the excavators.
Shall I return to a fabricator?
Please do. There's one near the airlock where you entered. Reactive Cutter Revision 3 installed. I've managed to further increase the effective range and efficiency. It also should be able to project a force sufficient for repelling a tick, though I would not advise relying on this feature.
Understood. Thanks, Juno.